looking at their personnel staff, there's a lot of experience down there. Those guys have been there for a long, long time. I think on their personnel staff, they have almost 500 years of NFL experience on that staff. It's 5 centuries. It's amazing. This is not a young group. I say that respectfully because of the job they've done, but they've been there a long time. They know what they're looking for. They know what they're doing, and Stephen and the personnel staff and Lionel, all those guys have done a remarkable job of consistently acquiring such top level talent in all 3 areas. The offensive side of the ball, it's a really good offensive line. Got some of the top players in the league, and that's after losing Frederick, with his injury situation. Obviously, the skill players are good. Pollard leads the league in yards per carry, and Zeke, and Dak, and got a couple of great receivers. But all that being said, Schultz is really the leading receiver, which is pretty remarkable considering the guys that Prescott's throwing to. Defensively, the front's impressive. A lot of speed at linebacker. They can cover, they can rush, they can play the run. Between Lamb and Pollard, the return game is good. Obviously, Coach Fassel, Bones, is one of the top special teams coaches in the league, so it's always a dangerous situation between him and the players, and Zuerlein's field goal range. I just feel like he could kick them as soon as they cross midfield. They're in field goal range, so he's a big weapon too. And good mix of young players and guys kind of in their prime, and some veteran players, some guys they've acquired, added to their team, and guys like Kazee and guys like that. And then there's other guys that obviously are big draft choices, and some of their core players. So just overall very impressive level of talent. And offensively, Coach McCarthy and Dan Quinn, mentioned Fassel. I think they're very, very well coached. Do a really good job offensively with their schemes, and put a lot of pressure on the defense. And, defensively, as I said, they pretty much do everything well. They're ranked at the top of the league in almost every category on offense and defense, and a good kicking game. So not really a lot of weaknesses on this team. Averaging 40 points a game the last 3 weeks, and won pretty decisively. Beat the Chargers. They're obviously a good team there. That's our only loss. So it's a pretty talented team. We know we're going to have to play our best game, and so that's what we're going to get ready to do.
Bill, Matt Juneau mentioned earlier that one of the reasons it seems like the Cowboys are hard to sack offensively is they've got a good line, but Dak gets the ball out of his hands quickly. Have they been a short kind of attacking passing game from what you've seen?
If they're open down the field, he'll throw it down the field, and he'll throw it to everybody. Whoever's open. And a lot of times he's got 2 or 3 guys to choose from. It's a hard group to cover. Lamb's a very explosive player. And Cooper's a good route runner. Obviously, the backs are a problem when they get the ball. Tight end's a leading receiver, so take your pick. And he can run too. So he's a 6th receiver there.
Has his style changed much since the injury? Obviously that was a severe thing dealt with.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He's right at the top of the league in passing. I mean, they're at the top of the league and everything. So whatever stat you want to talk about, they're at the top of the league in it. So he's a trigger guy, so he's making it all go.
Bill, what stood out watching Micah Parsons on tape, and how much did you guys, as an organization, do some homework on him before the draft?
Yeah, I mean, he's, obviously a very talented player, big, fast, along the lines of, Van Der Esch and the guys like that they've drafted. So, and so he had a lot of good football players last year. He is one of them.
Already 6 interceptions this season for Diggs. What do you see from him?
Yeah, instinctive, very talented guy. Plays the ball well. Got good cover skills.
With Dan Quinn's defense, would you say it's the same scheme that you've seen in the past from Coach Quinn?
The foundation of it's similar. I wouldn't say it's quite the same. No.
What's different about it?
They've changed some things. They've added some things.
Can the ball skills that Diggs has, is that something that can be taught? I mean, obviously you've had guys, Steph.
It's like everything else. You can improve. But some guys have elite skills, and I don't think you're ever going to take it's be hard to go from not very skilled to being highly skilled. But incrementally can move them up. And some guys are have natural skills, natural instincts, that kind of thing. You can improve those as well, but also you have a lot to start with.
Bill, Josh said something to us yesterday about how at this point in the year you're kind of realizing what you might be good at and what you might not be so good at, and maybe try to lean on some things versus others. Does the same thing happen defensively? I know you guys want to change depending on who you play.
Yeah, of course it happens in every area. Yeah. More information you have, more actual live game reps you get at, and you see how other teams are playing you, how they're attacking you, or what they're trying to do, that things show up. It's a lot different than preseason. I mean, really see what you have, what you don't have, what you need to work on, like what your strengths are. They may or may not be what you thought they were going into the season. That's what the NFL regular season's for. It exposes your weaknesses and shows you what the matchups are, whether they're in your favor or they're not.
Bill, how would you describe the kind of core tenets of the offense Kellen Moore has put together and is running down there?
They're balanced. They're good at everything. I think Moore's one of the better offensive coordinators that we've faced. Does a good job. It's not just the players. They have a good scheme. They're well balanced. They do a lot of things that complement other things that they do. Put a lot of stress on the defense.
When you talk about balance, is that strictly kind of a run-pass split or the distribution evenly to everybody?
No, it's just the balance of what you have to defend. Not just runs and passes. It's passes that complement other passes, runs that complement other runs, runs that complement passes. It's everything. It's not just one thing.
You mentioned Van Der Esch. What makes him stand out?
Big, fast, instinctive. I mean, these guys can really run. It looks like he might have a decent gain, or it looks like he might have some space in the defense, and it closes very quickly. Again, they're well coached. They play aggressively. When they see it, they got a lot of guys get there in a hurry. Things don't last very long against these guys. They close it in very quickly. Big, long guys that are hard to throw over. Take up a lot of space in coverage. It's hard to get the ball around them, and over them, and then plus they're fast. So.
Bill, what have you seen when teams have blitzed Dak Prescott and he leads the league in touchdown passes against the blitz? The passer rating's over 100. What's he doing so well against the blitz?
Again, that's a team. It's a team play. So starts with blocking it, which they're pretty good at. They got a lot of good receivers. And they got a good quarterback, and they can get open and they can run after the catch and they can pick it up. So again, you can't stop the blitz with one guy. Good schemes. Again, Kellen does a good job on that. obviously they're well prepared for it, so.
Do you get the sense when you watch them on film, from a team standpoint, that they're so comfortable against that, they almost invite it? They feel like it's their advantage?
I don't know. You have to ask them that. I don't know.
See, the Cowboys were adding the extra team to the schedule this year, and you're not playing their division, and it's not routinely that you face them a lot. Would you say it's taken more time with game planning and just, and all that due to the, they're not a divisional opponent, and you're not facing, their division?
No, and there's other teams we haven't played. Obviously, we haven't played the NFC South either, so. We played all the other teams in their division, so, there's crossover games. And we watched Washington and Philly and the Giants in preseason. We saw plenty of the Cowboys. I mean, you can't help but see them in the crossover games.
Bill, Nick Folk was the special teams player of the week. Just how good is it to have him in your back pocket, be consistent last week?
Yeah, Nick's been incredibly consistent, and big kicks again last weekend. Yeah, he's done a great job for us.
Matt Judon mentioned the need to force Dak to read defenses a little bit longer and to hold on to the ball, which obviously sounds like a good idea most weeks, but would you say Dak is among the better quarterbacks in the league at reading defenses from what you've seen this year?
Yeah, he's good at it. Compare him to anybody else, but yeah, he's good at it. He knows where to go with the ball. I mean, you want to make every quarterback do that. You don't want to just tell them what you're in and see what they can do about it. Make them figure it out, make it work for them, change it up on them a little bit.
Two final questions?
Any sense on the offensive line if you'll be in a similar situation as last week?
Yeah, let's take it day by day, see how it goes here.
Final question?
Bill, Damontae Hightower called himself the trash man because he doesn't care about stats. He does whatever the role is week in, week out. Do you think that's an accurate sort of assessment? Does the dirty work, the garbage work?
Yeah, High's a pretty versatile guy. He can do a lot of things for us, and does whatever we ask him to do. He's a very unselfish player, and he's so versatile that he's a guy that you can ask to do a lot of things, and he can handle a lot of different things. Not necessarily the same every week, but depending on what the priorities are. Pass rush, running game, end of the line, off the ball, handle the fronts, make coverage adjustments. He's a smart player that he has such a good grasp of the overall defense and the offense that we're playing, how to use the tools that we have and apply them to the situations that come up. So he does a lot of things for us that are it's really good.
Is his playing, it just seems like his playing strength is the 99th percentile. Some of the collisions that he has with linemen and the linemen go backwards.
He's a strong, explosive player. Plays a good pad level. He can deliver. He can thump for sure.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks.